teachers rising up in rebellion of everyday heroes. Randi Weingarten. Melissa Smith has 30 students in her criminal justice class in an Oklahoma City high school, but only 20 desks. Remedial help for students struggling with reading and writing is gone at English teacher Anna Graven's Oklahoma City High School, so each year they fall further behind. A student in Ada, Oklahoma, just found Blake Shelton's name in the plate pasted on the inside of one of her dog-eared textbooks. The country music star used the very same book in 1982, 36 years ago. Many textbooks, if teachers even have any to distribute, are even older and held together with duct tape. A 20-year science teacher in the Sooner State left the profession to make more money as a part-time dog groomer. More, starvation issues in universities? The real college problem is obesity. More, federal immigration efforts create a barrier between police and community. And everyone will lose. Teacher advocacy for excellent, equitable, safe and well-funded public schools and livable wages started long ago, but the recent walkouts that started in West Virginia and spreading across the country have captured the attention of the public because of the David versus Goliath nature of the battle. Teachers are standing up for their students and themselves against largely red states with weak labor laws and where governors and legislators have opted for tax cuts for the wealthy instead of investments for children. This has left education conditions deplorable and educators pauperized. The movement has even become a verb of sorts. "Don't make me go West Virginia on you" was the message on an Arizona teacher's sign as she protested at her state capitol. This movement is a rejection of years of austerity budgets that have stiffed education funding and kids' futures in favor of tax breaks for the wealthy and corporations. 29 states spend less today on public education than when the recession began in 2007. But educators, students and parents are taking on the budget shortfalls with tangible results. West Virginia, with a Republican governor and GOP majority House and Senate, voted to give public employees, including educators, a 5% raise, and created a task force to fix health insurance costs, rescinding the premiums hikes in the meantime. Oklahoma, also with a Republican trifecta, voted for the first time in 28 years to raise taxes to provide new revenue for teacher pay raises and skill funding. The days of passive resignation are over. Educators, students, parents and concerned citizens are coming together to achieve what would be impossible for individuals acting alone. Teachers in West Virginia and Oklahoma demonstrated that they will do what it takes to seize the future for their students and their profession. And the same trend is happening in blue states. For example, after teacher advocacy, New York just added $1 billion to public school funding. More, don't revoke Obama school discipline letter. Don't signal that discrimination is okay. Policing the USA, a look at race, justice, media. I've walked with teachers in Charleston, W.V. and in Oklahoma City. Their perseverance and passion for change take my breath away. Yet just days before two tax bills passed in Oklahoma, lawmakers had derided teachers as extortionists. But then they couldn't ignore the tens of thousands of educators who stormed the Capitol with pent-up anger over decades of defunding education that caused deplorable teaching and learning conditions and disrespect for the teaching profession. Interestingly, principals, school boards and superintendents cheered on their teachers because they were doing what the bosses couldn't accomplish: secure desperately needed funding for classrooms and for the recruitment and retention of educators. President Trump, Education Secretary Betsy DeVos, governors, state legislators and others are on notice, giving tax breaks to millionaires and billionaires and corporations while starving public schools and stripping funds for app courses, foreign language classes, art, music. Desks and other basics for kids will no longer be tolerated. And if legislators don't listen, the next cycle of elections will be a reckoning. Ironically, what the right wing has tried to do in the anti-union Janus v. Ufscom Council 31 Supreme Court case, get public sector unions out of politics, is backfiring. Teachers' voices, and their votes, are powerful, and educators have parents and communities supporting them. In fact, At a time when teachers' agency is routinely being gutted by attacks on their profession and their right to organize, teachers realize that their weapon is their vote and their mission is the upcoming elections. The nation has watched and fallen in love with these everyday heroes who have walked out of schools and bombarded state capitals to demand more for our students and our schools. Shortchanging our children's education today has harmful, long-term consequences. Civilized societies invest in a well-educated citizenry and the returns are measured in productive lives, strong communities and a thriving country. Randi Weingarten is the president of the American Federation of Teachers.